Hello there, I'm Tabletop Toby. Today we're going to be doing an unboxing of Aberration, which is a game designed by Peter Lee, who also worked on Lords of Waterdeep and Horrified. This is also, like Horrified, a cooperative game. This is a tower defense game, so a little bit different than Horrified, but it's also kind of in that horror genre. And it's its own unique universe. It's an original universe. It's kind of a tainted, corrupted forest, and you have a village in the middle, and these creatures are coming, and you can't see them until they're in the light, so you can see their shadows coming, but they're not actually revealed what they are until they're put in the light, which I think is really a cool concept. And the villagers are there, and they can actually help you, can put them kind of worker placement style to actually do some different things. As you get corrupted, you can tap into different abilities. So there's that concept of corruption and power and growth, which is really neat. So we're going to dive right in and see what this stuff looks like. I'm going to get a how to play video out and a playthrough as quickly as I can. I'm going to, after I do the unboxing, dive right in and start doing some play tonight in this. And I'm super excited about it. I'm really excited about the Honk of Doom. This is one of the expansions. It's a corrupted like goose. It has 4 heads. It looks ridiculous and silly and dark, and I love that. I just love it. So let's get into this forest and see what's in there. You have to shine a light on that, I guess. And I failed to mention, of course, that our favorite penguin butler mascot, Paxton, has given us permission to use this knife. The artwork, as you see, very dark. You have kind of one of the corrupted creatures with some creature pups, wolves, corrupted, many eyes, lots of eyes, attacking the protectors of the village. Here in the main box, we have the scenario book. So it's tower defense, but there's different scenarios that have different setups to give a little variety to how things play out. So looking forward to seeing how they shake things up, and hopefully there's some longevity with that. Let's see here, there's 16 scenarios, it looks like. So hopefully between the different creatures and with the expansions and the different characters, which there are asymmetric powers, is my understanding, there would be some options there. We have the rule book. Checked out the latest version of the rulebook online. Seems fairly straightforward. So looking forward to putting a playthrough together on that. Some more beautiful artwork on there. Some different cardboard punch outs. It looks like there's the part of the village center. There are standees as an option for the game. We do have the minis as well, but here you do get a sense of some of the creatures. So very tentacly pokey. Here's kind of a interesting, it almost looks like a stump crying lava, which I'm kind of into, like a mournful, gloomy stump. Here's kind of the corrupted bear that I mentioned earlier. I really like that one. I think the mini for that looks like it's going to be really cool. Looks like there's a pretty decent insert in here. So this is the board. We'll take a look at that in a minute. We'll take a look at the parts in here first. So these are wooden components. So these are the villagers. They went with just kind of a simple, classic meeple look for the villagers. They looked and saw there was a lot of debate about what color these should be. They settled on the shade of yellow, but I liked that they were listening to feedback and some people were unhappy, so that's nice. And there's not many for the villagers. They thought to distinguish those from even with the minis, the miniatures of the characters and the monsters, they wanted to just have them be wooden meeples. So then we have just some different markers. These are just round wooden markers. And these are because the game is a bag builder. So these go into your bag and are a resource depending on how you play that you pull out, and then that affects how your turn plays out. So there's in fact another layer in here. So here's cards. We'll look at the cards here in a minute as well. Going to get through kind of the box first. So here are bags for those tokens. And on your turn, you pull out different tokens, and that's how kind of your turn plays out. Not how to play, so we're not going to dive into exactly details of that, but you're assigned a color, and that coordinates to your bag of your character. These are standee just pieces for if you're playing the standee monsters. So this is the village center that other piece goes into. So this is going to go at the center of the board. The board goes around it. We'll set that up here in a minute. And here we have the characters. So here we have Eldrin the Elf. So each one has the asymmetric ability, the keen sight. When you reveal a shadow, ignore its reveal effect. So that's Eldrin's special ability. It's the mini for Eldrin. For a small mini, it has a reasonable amount of detail. There is Sasha the human, special ability, adaptable. You may have up to 2 held actions. Most of the boards only have 1 held action, but Sasha can hold 2, so can retain 2 chips instead of 1. So that's the difference with Sasha. And here is the mini for Sasha. There's Galgrick the dwarf, special ability Tenacious, take 1 less damage from aberration attack, so just kind of a built-in better defense, it sounds like. And this is Galgrick's mini. I love how oversized the staff or mace is. Arkesh is next. Dragonborn, special ability Dragon's Breath. Deal 2 damage to every aberration on your map tile. So built-in extra damage. And here is Arkesh's mini. And we see that flame sword that was represented in the art. And it actually looks even cooler on the mini. I think at least. There is Bren, the halfling, special ability Luck. Once during your turn, you may re-roll a die. So able to help with some of the bad luck, mitigate that a little bit. And in tune with the halfling life, the miniature is smaller. So this is Bren's mini. Little trap on the back there. Last but not least, from the characters, at least in the main box, Thalon, who's Ogrish, special ability, Momentum. Once per action, when you finish your movement in a space with an aberration, make a melee attack dealing 1 damage. So you get a bonus attack when you move right up to them. Thalon is the opposite of the last one. Thalon, as Ogrish, is supersized. So it's very much taller and bigger than the other minis. And just as a point of comparison, here was the human, and here was the halfling. Now you choose one of those characters, but you also choose your class, which also gives you different abilities. So that adds variety to the game as well. So there's the martial artist. So you start with a particular of those tokens in your bag, and it has a particular setup as well. But then more importantly, on this side are the special abilities, and then I believe these then correlate to what you draw from your bag and then what you're maybe able to do. So with any color, you can strafe, you can move and then make a ranged attack, or you can strike, dealing your strength damage. You can do a scorpion jab by rolling 2 dice that stuns, revitalizing strike that deals damage, and you can heal. Flurry, make a number of melee attacks equal to your speed. If you're successful, each one deals 1 damage. You can multitask, you can assign a villager. If it doesn't attack, assign another villager, so you can kind of order the villagers around to help you do things around the board. There's the noble. I don't think we need to look at the setup sides. Just look at the ability sides and kind of run through those pretty quickly, I think. So the noble can investigate a shadow, can draw an item card, which makes sense as a noble. They have the money. They can attack and then make another hero move. And that's called outflank, so it's kind of giving them orders, which is kind of funny. Inspiring shot, which is another one where you can, after a ranged attack, make another hero move. Delegation, assign a villager, or 2 if this is the first action. So kind of helping move other characters around the board a little bit. There's the duelist, so can dash, make a nimble strike. Taunt, so move any number of shadows or aberrations adjacent to you into your space, so kind of pulling them toward you. And then crowd fighting, make a melee attack against each aberration in your space. So you pull them in and then you kind of attack them. So it's very get in there, which would work well with some of those characters that we saw. Sniping may reveal a shadow on any map tile and then make a ranged attack. That's kind of neat. So you can see reveal something that's coming in if you're like, I feel like it's not a good one. And you can just get it revealed and see how bad the situation is. Rally, assign a villager, then you make a ranged attack that deals 1. There's captain, move up to your speed, then another hero may move. Misdirection, move any shadow or aberration 1 space. So you can kind of move them away or move them in a way that doesn't block you or maybe is helpful. Tactical takedown, you may place an aberration on your map tile into your space, make a melee attack, so kind of bring them in and then immediately attack. Collaborate, make a ranged attack, then add +1 to your damage if another hero is on your map tile, so kind of working together. Volley, assign 1 villager. If it attacks, make the attack against each aberration in the target space, so really ramping up village attack options. We have the rogue, move and make a ranged attack. Ambush, move, and then place a trap token. Backstab, make a melee attack if another hero is in your space. Also deal intellect damage, so motivates doing it with another character close by. Sniping may reveal a shadow on any map tile and make a ranged attack, so it's similar to the snipe. Oh, that is also called snipe. I should have read that first. Mobilize, assign 1 villager. If it doesn't attack, you may move up to your speed. So some of them have similar abilities, but they all have a couple that seem unique to them. Monster Hunter, you may reveal a shadow on your map tile, then move up to your speed. So it's like you can check it out and then run away. Lay a trap in a safe space. Crowd fighting, so that's attacking everything in your space. Ensnaring shot, make a ranged attack. If you deal damage, stun that. Guidance, assign 1 villager, add 1 damage to any dealt by that assignment. You have these ability boards, and it looks like it has a nice little turn guidance here. On the hero turn, move an action chip from your ability board to your hero bag. So they're kind of stored here. You put them in your bag. You draw action chips from your hero bag equal to your intellect. So that's one of your key stats, is what your intellect stat is. And then you take actions based on your action chips, which are those, I think, based on what class you are. So that's kind of the cycle. So that's that. I think you kind of have your character, then your class on one side. So you have all the information there. Okay, this is the Aberration board. So this, I think, is done with the setup in terms of what other monsters are around and how these decks are set up. The Great Beast deck, the Transformation deck. There's a summary of the Great Beast turn, which is activate all aberrations clockwise from north. advance all shadows, so they're all kind of moving in. Draw and play one Great Beast card so it has its deck. Level up the indicated aberration, resolve the event, spawn shadows clockwise from the given compass point. So there's always more appearing because it is tower defense, so they have to be populating coming in. And we'll look at the cards here in a little bit. And then this is the villager board. So the way that you win the game is you go up the survival track, and when you reach the top, it's victory. And I believe that you do this by completing different objectives, which there's different cards, and when you complete different objectives, which could be defeating certain enemies or taking certain points on the board, or different things, and they're worth different points, so you move the tracker up. So fear, and if you reach the top of that, then you lose. And if any character is defeated, you also lose. I think if you run out of that Great Beast deck, you also lose. So there's multiple ways to lose. Now the village also gets a turn. So you saw in those class actions that villagers will do different actions when they're assigned. And here on the village turn, which happens at the beginning of each round, they return to the village center, and then it goes to the players. All the players go, and then the Great Beast gets a turn, and you keep going. See, here's place for the objective decks, and then the item decks that you can draw. So here are the Horde cards. So these are done in the setup with a different scenario. I think it tells you what of these to put in. So we're just going to take a look at some of these. Abhorrent Horrors. It certainly looks abhorrent. It tells you attack 3, health 1, affects corrupting, so that probably causes something to happen to us. Vile Bats. Horde level 1, attack 1, health 3, so those kind of flip. And then flying, so maybe it can avoid you somehow or avoid certain obstacles. We have Ravaged Elks. 1 attack, 4 health. No special effects. Grippers. 1 attack, 3 health. Has armor. So Oblivion Stalkers. These ones look really friendly. 1 attack, 3 health. They're evasive, so I don't know if that means it's harder to reveal them, or if they evade your attacks more. I guess we'll find out. Frenzied Spires, so they have higher attack there. Savage Wolves, kind of not two-headed, more like two-mouthed, really. Look like muscly outside, kind of, and are those eyes on the tail? I think there are. I think there are. This is the Monstrosity deck. So Monstrosity, Ancient, Hurok. Definitely looks ancient. And unlike the Horde cards, which you see there was nothing at the bottom of these, this one has a reward 1 item card. But it also is attack 2, health 4, and has armor. So it seems like maybe it's more challenging. And this one also has level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, and each one of those is getting stronger. Here we have a Raging Bear. I don't know why I just love the Raging Bear. Once again, so excited to check out the mini for that. Aggressive and regenerating. Well, that doesn't sound helpful. All the way through level 6, and each one more attack and more health. We have Caprathorn. 2 attack and health start with, corrupting and toxic, as we would expect. It'd be really fun at a blacklight party, I think. Grotesquerie. Attack 3, lots of attack. Health 2, revenge and toxic. Also multiple levels there. Ruga. Attack 2, health 3, armor and aggressive, and then getting stronger from there. Then we'll look at the Great Beast deck so we can kind of see what these event things that we have to deal with happen. And I think once again, we're told how to set these up based on the scenario. So this is Heroic Sacrifice. Each player chooses, place an influence token on any map tile, or take 2 damage. And spawn shadows based on the number of heroes, and it tells you where to put those. Rapid Corruption, place an influence token on every map tile. Another loose condition is if a map tile is filled with influence tokens. I don't know what that means. There must be a capacity. Mysterious disappearance, return a villager to the supply. Oh no, you lose a villager forever. Gain 1 fear. And so all of these have spawn shadows. This is what maybe dictates the number of shadows that are spawned, and then it shows you where they start. So it kind of randomly starts, and there's a number of them, so it's not all the way around every time. So place an influence token, place an influence token. So it seems like the primary purpose of these is that, but then there's some things that are twisted in here. Each player moves an intellect chip from their discard pool to the supply. If a player cannot, they take 1 damage. So here's one, a strength one, a speed one, so it meshes with your supply items as well. And then spawns those shadows. Look at the transformation deck next. So constricting tendrils, choose an aberration on your map tile, place it in your space, then make a melee attack, dealing strength to the target. Hideous appearance, when you draw this card, gain 1 fear. Aberrant strength. When you draw this card, move a strength chip from your ability board to your hero bag. If none are left, move the chip of your choice instead. Hideous appearance. When you draw this card, gain a fear. Hideous appearance. I mean, it does look a little hideous. You may move a transformation chip from your held action to your hero bag to prevent all damage from an attack. When you draw this card, move a command chip from your ability board to your bag. Your attacks deal +1 damage. So these are just little, like, give you little helpful things. But I think these are... so this one, unstable mutation. When you draw this card, place a transformation chip into your hero bag. So I think these are the... You're getting kind of corrupted in different abilities, but, you know, if you get too many of the aberration cards, then you lose. So I think it's a yin and yang of getting these helpful strength things, but then making sure you don't go too far. Let's look at the objective cards next. So these are how you earn those points to gain victory. So rally the defenses, assign 2 villagers to vantage points. Place an objective token on this card. Each time you assign a villager to a vantage point, reward 1 survival. So assign 3 villagers to vantage points, reward 2 survival. Defeat 2 aberrations on the north map tile. So it's promoting you going to a certain place on the map, 1 survival. Defeat 2 aberrations on the south map tile, 1 survival. Each player places an objective token in the highest numbered space on a different map tile. Any hero ending an action in that space collects the token. Reward 1 survival. Defeat a monstrosity, which are those stronger ones. So it's best the behemoth. 1 survival. So use an action to have a villager defeat an aberration. Light 2 fires, eyes on the enemy. 1 survival. So it seems like these are things you want to do anyway. Reveal 4 shadows, from my understanding of the game, but it kind of focuses you. Some relics, I'm not sure how you get these yet. Guesses these are stronger items. Acts of cleaving, make a melee attack dealing strength damage to each aberration in your space. It looks like they're triggered by a certain of those chips, is what they call them, not tokens. Make a ranged attack against any aberration on the map. That's Bow of Distance, which is cool. Crown of Leadership. Choose any hero. The hero draws an item card, then moves their hero up to your command in spaces. Frost Axe. Make a melee attack by rolling strength. If you deal damage, stun the aberration. Healer's Kit. A hero in your space heals 1 damage. Helm of Control. After you take an action, you may move a shadow aberration 1 space towards the center. Vial of Dread Venom. Your melee attacks deal +1 damage. Elven Edge. Make a number of melee attacks equal to your speed. So they just seem like, based on the other items we've seen, that they're more powerful actions. And there are these items, and this item deck is very large. So we'll be even faster with this, but let's see what they are, because it seems like you can draw a lot of these. And there are these smite actions and block actions at the bottom, which I think are triggered by different other actions you have. So here, draw a new objective. So those seem helpful. The Ancient Lore. bandages, you can heal. Compass, choose a hero. They move up to their speed. Flare, choose a map tile, reveal all shadows on that map. Looks like there's a couple of each of them. Hand axe, make a melee attack by rolling strength. Horn of Summoning, gain a villager from the supply and assign it if possible. Make a ranged attack with the lucky arrow. Return one shadow to a supply. Stun an Aberration. Potion of Heroism, treat the next action chip you use as if it were a hero chip. Protective Ward, reveal one shadow, ignore its reveal effect. So just like different tools for you to use, place your hero into any space. That seems very helpful, the village map. You just teleport anywhere, especially with those objectives. That seems pretty dope. Alrighty, and speaking of variety for the game, there's not just one board. There's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different quarters, and they're all double-sided. So I think those scenarios will tell you what to do. And there's this village center. So what you do, take this piece and you follow the scenario setup based on these tile numbers. We're just doing it randomly. So each one has different halves and different placements. And then this goes right in the middle. And voila, you have your village. I recall earlier, these, I believe, get placed somehow on these as well. All right, and time for the minis. Let's push this to the side and take a look at these one by one. This is one of my favorites. It's our Sadgoth tree, otherwise known as the grotesquerie. This is the ancient Barak. They have the terrain detail on the base as well. Starting with the big boys here, and working our way from there. This is Caprathorn. Can't wait anymore, so we got to look at the Raging Bear. I love that it has the raised claw. This is the Wukong. Those were all the big beast ones. These other ones, there's multiples of each of these. So these are the smaller ones. This is the Gripper. There's 3 of those. This is the Savage Wolf. Two-mouthed Wolf. There's 3 of these as well. There's 3 of all of these. These are the Horde, I believe they're referred to, whereas the others were the Monstrosities. These are the Ravaged Elks. I like these a lot, actually. The Ravaged Elks, I think, turned out nicely. Oblivion Stalkers. I mean, it's a painted, corrupted forest, so you gotta have some creepy spiders, of course. I like the back kind of spiky side of the spiders there. We have the Aberrant Horrors. And last but not least, the Vile Bats. Oh, vile. all of the minis for the main game. So we will move on to, because I think it is funny, the Honk of Doom expansion. The Honk of Doom. Give you the standee for that, in case you want to go standee. Have a nice touch. We'll look at the mini first. The Honk of Doom. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 headed corrupted goose. And 3 little horde, 3-headed baby goose, also referred to as giant Gazdra, and just Gazdras. Then we have the corresponding cards. So the horde for the regular Gazdras, be put into those decks, and then the giant Gazdra for the monstrosity, corrupting and flying. This expansion really is just adding that one monstrosity and then the horde that you can add into your game as additional enemies. The Spellcasters expansion, I believe, adds a little bit more gameplay content, so let's take a look at that now. Like it does also add a monstrosity and some more horde enemies, so a little bit extra variety for some other shadowy creatures to show up in our corrupted forest. There are 2 more characters to choose from, 4 more classes, and some new items and such. So let's take a look at these all in turn. So there's quite a bit of content in this little box. So for the monstrosity, it's the eldritch knoll, which makes sense with the spellcaster and getting eldritchy. 2 attack and 3 health to start with, effects evasive and regenerating, and then just regular knolls for the horde level. And let's take a look at those minis. So this is the eldritch knoll, holding up a skull. Definitely not looking like it is up to any good, for sure. Really like this mini. Actually, maybe better than some of the monstrosities in the main box. Not that they're bad, but love some of the detail on this one. I think this one turned out nicely. And then the regular knolls here. And then the new characters, we have Etharis, disembodied, special ability, ghostly form, place your hero into any space on the map. So you can just teleport around. And this is Etharis, who has a body, even though it can become disembodied. Then we have Lyra, who's downcast, special ability, fallen divinity. When spinning a transformation chip to take an action, you may treat it as any color. So you can use transformation chips to do other things if you prefer those. There's some versatility there. And this is Lyra. Rather like her lamp staff, whatever that is. Then let's take a look at the new classes. So, Arcanist, Illumination, reveal a shadow. Arcane Strike, make a melee or ranged dealing 1. Eldritch Bolt, make a ranged attack by rolling intellect. That makes sense. Alchemical Release, make a melee attack 2. If you discard an item attack, so that's Alchemical Release, make this attack against each aberration. Mystic Darts, make a number of ranged attacks equal to your speed. Fabricate, assign 1 villager. If it doesn't attack, draw an item card, ordering villagers to create some things for you. Spell Sword, Nimble Strike, Mesmerize, choose a shadow or aberration on your map and place it into your space. So you're kind of pulling it towards you. Dancing Blade, make a melee attack, then you may make a ranged attack, so you kind of get multi-attacks. Luring Shot, make a ranged attack, then you can pull it into your space. Covering Fire, assign one villager if it attacks. You may place your hero in the target space. And getting some movement around the board. The Spell Sword. Vindicator, so Strafe, make a ranged attack. Challenge, move a shadow on your map tile, move one space toward this village center, then reveal all shadows in its space. Ooh, that's interesting. You're going to get a lot of reveals from this one. Overwhelm, make a melee attack. If this defeats the aberration, you can move. Avenging Shot, make a ranged attack. Make hero of your choice heals. Contingency Plane, if all villagers are assigned, return one villager to the village center, then assign one villager. Fun, just more different options. Inquisitor, you may reveal a shadow on your map tile. You can then move, propulsion, move a shadow one space away from your village, then reveal it. Now push it away and then reveal. Revitalizing Strike, make an attack, heal. Revelation, you may reveal a shadow, then make a ranged attack. Blessed Assignment. Assign one villager. If that villager attacks, you may reroll any dice from that attack once. Those are the new classes. All 4 of the new classes, you choose an arcane spell card. You get one of these spell cards at the beginning of the game. And you have those 2 things you can use. You can only use that spell once per turn. Cool, it's like an additional ability on top of your class abilities. So it's all connected to the 4 new spell classes, which makes sense. The Spellcasters. Pyromancy, Flame Arrow, make a ranged attack. Ember Strike, each time you enter an aberration space, it takes damage, so you're kind of setting yourself on fire. Storm Weaving, Frostshard, make a ranged attack. If it deals damage, stun. Spellbinding, Cool Marionette, move an aberration, then deal 2 damage. Physiomancy, draw 2 action chips. Oh, it's kind of like haste. Nether Weaving. I love the names of these spells and the art on them. Void Tether, choose a space, move up to your intellect and shadows or aberrations adjacent to the chosen space. Sacred Watcher. For the rest of the hero turn, ignore all operation traits. You may make a melee attack that deals strength. So mitigating some of the aberration negative traits maybe. So it makes it less costly to deal with those. It does say at the bottom, the spell can only be used once per turn. So it does sound like you can get these and have them in your tableau, and then when you draw, you can use them, but only once per turn. Ice Protector, make a melee by rolling a strength. If it deals damage, stun the aberration. These look really cool. And then there are new relics as well. There's Crystal Ball, reveal all shadows in each space. Elemental Arrows, range attacks get additional attack. Blessed Shield, critical hits against you miss. Ring of Invisibility, ignore your presence, sort of like stealing. If it defeats an aberration, you get a heal. Make a ranged attack rolling 2 dice, stun the aberration. 1 of slaying, so some more cool relics. Ooh, Haunting Loot. At the start of your turn, you may move a shadow or aberration in adjacent space to your space. I love that art though. Haunting Loot. There are new items as well. VIII, choose the space anywhere on the map. All aberrations and shadows adjacent to that space move into that space. Book of Banishment, place a transformation chip from the supply into your discard pool. Inspiring Speech. If your heroes in the village center lose 1 fear, that's kind of cool. Lower your fear. A transformation chip from any player's discard to the supply. Prevent all damage dealt to your hero until the end of the next turn. That's kind of cool. Healing. So just some other options there. And that was my unboxing of Aberration, a new cooperative tower defense game designed by Peter Lee, who designed Horrified and Lords of Waterdeep, worked on those games. And yeah, I'm excited to dive into this one. I'm going to start playing right after this. I'm very interested in the items and how those work, and the bag building with the abilities and how much control or not control you have, and the risks and rewards that play into those, with pushing your risks with the getting the aberration abilities, but then there are the negatives that come with those and the management of all that. So I love those risk reward challenges. And when you reveal these shadows and how to do that and when to do that. So that's enough. I want to play, so I'm just going to get to that. So thank you for being here. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. And just remember, the only rule is that there are no rules, except in board games.